So today we live in a technological world. Everything is moving faster, and we don't have time for these long conversations that we're used to having. I got a quote from Indigo, and it says, "Let me explain. No, it's too complicated. Let me sum it up." And he basically is stating what we live in today. For example, I'll give you 3 examples. One is with text messaging or calling. Today we don't call. We don't have long conversations with our friends anymore. In fact, some people don't even want to talk at all. They'd rather hang up their phone and text you. And this is true because most people don't want to hear the whole long story. They want to sum it up, break it down, and send it out in data. Second example that I have for you today about this is speeches. Because in speeches, if you're talking about a specific purpose or book, or anything really, you want to break down the key concepts and just put it out for your speakers. You don't want to explain the whole thing in detail. And the last thing that I have to talk about, the last thing that everyone doesn't talk about, books. Who reads books these days? I mean, yeah, books are good and stuff, but if you're reading a textbook, why read it? You have a cliff note. You can get cliff notes, you can break it down, and then you'd be done. You don't really need the whole general book thing. You can just sum it up and spit it out. So in conclusion, what I have to say is, yes, our long conversations have now died out, but I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. Personally, I think that long explanations of things are good. But in today's society, it seems like that is going away. And it's happening.
Jose, I didn't start my timer. How long was that?
1 minute 46.
All right, thank you. All right, Drake, I thought you started off really well. The opening was good. You had a great interpretation of the quote, and you're all set to have a successful speech. But you know what the ideas were that you were going to talk about. You don't share them with us, so we don't get a preview, which means later on it's actually hard for you to recall that third one, and we watch you struggle a little bit trying to remember it. I thought you had a good transition on the first point. And you start off pretty well. I thought you had some good descriptive gestures in the opening section, but the further you went along, the less involved you seemed with your gestures. Sometimes you were really solid, and other times You have your hands in your pockets, your hands in your back pockets, you look a little bit uncertain, and I think that that's where some of your anxiety comes out. You got a little stuck getting to that third point, and so that hesitancy did give us a momentary pause to worry about. It really did feel like you were rushing through a lot of the presentation instead of pacing yourself, so you want to be careful about that. There is a place, especially at the end, where your voice drops off, and instead of leaving us with a positive impression at the end of the speech, it sort of leaves us with a weaker version of your presentation at the end. Generally, I thought your audience contact was pretty solid, but we're going to definitely take away a couple of points for the damn hat.
All right.